So onto the core. 1 second, I'm just going to flip the camera so you can see some of the beautiful countryside. So core thoughts. It's a super hard route in general. If you're coming from a road background like me, I'm mainly a roadie with the occasional gravel biking thrown in. It's a very tough route. You've got to be fit, depending on the amount of days you want to do it in. We had 3 days initially, it ended up being 4.5, so it was a tough old route. You've got to build in plenty of time. Morning. You've got to build in plenty of time for mechanicals. We ended up getting new tyres. That's another point. Make sure your tyres are fresh. You've got the correct. Your bike is fully serviced and up to scratch. Check everything over before you go. In terms of the route itself, I would say we did it from Reading, clockwise. Everything up to Winchester is amazing. The South Downs is just incredible. There is a couple of narrow lanes where it's a bit stingy, nettly and narrow, but you could cope with it. Everything after Winchester is tough in terms of a lot of overgrown lanes, a lot of stinging nettles, a lot of single track that's got quite deep ruts in it. So if you're not that confident off-road, you've got to be super careful of the ruts, because any type of pedal strike can knock you off and you'll be in the, as I found out, you'll be in the stinging nettles. Stung on my face a few times, but it's all good fun. Once you get up on the Ridgeway, I'd say that's the hardest section of the whole route. The Ridgeway is super tough in places, very deep ruts, and of course the more people cycle it, the deeper the ruts go. You will find paths that'll take you away from the ruts, but they can be overgrown. There's more and more routes where people have gone off the main track, but obviously the more people do that, the worse the whole course is going to get, and there's a lot of people riding it, so just be careful of that. In terms of when you get up on the Ridgeway, make sure you've got enough supplies to last you, because there's not much up there. There's one point where there's a monument, you'll see it, I can't remember what it's called, but there is a water tap around the back of that. So if you're near that monument, you go through some fields, it's near the end, then you can fill up there. But there's very limited places where you can fill up, so that's something to bear in mind. Like I say, check your kit really carefully. Make sure you've got the right kit, and make sure that one big mistake I made was water. I decided to take one large water bottle and a kit bottle on my in my second bottle cage. That was a big mistake, because we were constantly on the hunt for water. I was constantly running out. You drink as much during the day, you think you'd fill it up. By the time you stopped, we were wild camping, by the time you stopped, had some water for coffee, clean your teeth, you were almost out of water again. So definitely find space in your bags, in your bike packing kit, for your tools and etc, and make sure you've got enough water. That was a big mistake I made. So overall, like the pointers are, check your kit carefully, make sure your bike's up to scratch. I'd advise you've got pretty much new tyres. Make sure you carry enough water and supplies. If you're wild camping, then make sure you leave no trace when you leave. Overall, the route is amazing. You've got to be fit enough. If you don't think you've got enough time, don't try and get it in 3 days when you can take 5 days, because that's my biggest piece of advice. Just take your time. There's some tricky sections, they're more than rideable, or even if you have to hike a bike, just take your time, enjoy it, and you'll be fine. In terms of on the route, everyone's super friendly. Now, the King Alfred is so well known now, and you will be dirty and tired, and people will look at you, especially in shops and stuff, and they'll go, "King Alfred?" And you'll go, "Yeah." And it'll start up so many conversations, so don't be afraid to talk to people. People will be super supportive on the whole route. The other cyclists, the shops, everything. It's so well known now that everyone's doing it. It's so popular that you'll find so much support en route. Oh, my last piece of advice is, I lost a jacket that I really liked because I didn't secure it well enough. So in terms of your kit, make sure everything's hankered down and strapped down really well. You don't want to lose a vital piece of kit. I lost my rain jacket and ended up not having it when I really needed it. I had to buy a cheap jacket that made me sweat, and it was just through stupidity. So don't leave expensive kit or a vital piece of kit just because you can't be bothered to strap it down properly. That's what I did. So thanks for watching. That's my thoughts on the Shimano GRX 810 on the core. One more thing before I go, I just want to give a massive shout out to Romain Bardet for an amazing stage victory yesterday in yellow. I think everyone involved in cycling was so happy to see that. I will cut some footage of the core in to this video, and I'm going to get back to making videos. So thanks everyone. Let me know if you found this interesting in the comments. Any questions about the GRX, setting it up, the CGR, anything in general. Have a great weekend. Catch you on the flip side, people.